I'd like to welcome each one of you to our devotional study today. We'll be concluding our study in Luke chapter 14. We've been looking at the true disciple of the Lord Jesus Christ. And we've seen that in Jesus' day, that Jesus said there were many who were followers, but there were few disciples of the Lord Jesus. And here we are, 2,000 years removed from the truth that Jesus communicated there. But the truth of the matter is, not a lot has changed. We're still living in a day and age where there are many followers, many adherents, but few true disciples of the Lord Jesus. So as we've been moving through this passage, it's giving us each a chance to ask ourselves the question, what category am I in? Am I a follower or am I a true disciple of Jesus Christ? So let's read the verses that we've looked at so far, and then we'll conclude by digging into these last two verses today. It says in Luke 14, verse 25, "And there went great multitudes with him, and he turned and said unto them, If any man come to me, and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. And whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he hath sufficient to finish it, lest happily, after he has laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him, saying, This man began to build, but was not able to finish. Or what king, going to make war against another king, sitteth not down first, and consulteth whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000? Or else, while the other is yet a great way off, he sendeth an ambassage and desireth conditions of peace. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, he cannot be my disciple. Salt is good, but if the salt has lost his savor, wherewith shall it be seasoned? It is neither fit for the land, nor yet for the dunghill, for men cast it out. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear." So as we come into these verses, we have seen that Jesus gives us 5 basic things that we have to do to be a disciple of Jesus Christ. And anyone who's not willing to pay the price and do these things may be saved, but they're not a disciple of the Lord Jesus. So we've been looking at what are the requirements for true discipleship. Requirement number 1, verse 26, the true disciple will love Jesus Christ supremely. Secondly, we have seen in verse 27 that a true disciple will take up his cross. Thirdly, the true disciple will follow Jesus. And we've looked at what each one of these entails. I'm not going to go into detail on that today. If you haven't listened to the previous devotionals, I encourage you to go back as we've unpacked these things. The true disciple will follow Jesus. Then we saw in verses 28 through 33, fourthly, that the true disciple will count the cost of being a disciple of Jesus Christ. Now, verse 34, character number 5, trait number 5, the true disciple will fulfill his one purpose in life. It says there, salt is good, but if the salt has lost its savor, wherewith shall it be seasoned? It is neither fit for the land, nor yet for the dunghill, but men cast it out. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. You say, what in the world is Jesus talking about in these verses? Well, he's talking about the fact that the true disciple will fulfill his one purpose in life. And we'll explain this in just a moment. And that one purpose is this: Jesus Christ must come first. There is a cross to bear. There is a cost to count. There is a conflict to engage in. There is a demand of complete separation, and there is a complete testing of our savor. And that's exactly what Jesus is getting at in these verses. Jesus speaks of salt that has gone bad. And he says here, as he speaks of this salt that has gone bad, he says this salt cannot be re-salted. Once salt has gone bad, it is worthless and it is good for nothing. The salt that is referred to here has one purpose, And its purpose is to flavor food and make it taste better. And when it becomes incapable of doing that one thing, then it is worthless. Friends, when we reach the place where the world can no longer see Jesus Christ in our lives, we are worthless as far as any ministry is concerned. Above everything else, Jesus Christ must be paramount, and the world must be able to see Jesus Christ in us through the words that we speak, through the places that we go, through the actions that we do, through the reactions that we have. People must be able to see Jesus Christ in us. We may come to the place that we're looking at this and wonder, what is he saying? Well, what Jesus is telling us is this. Anyone can come to Jesus and be saved. They can miss hell by placing their faith in the shed blood of the Lord Jesus Christ and his resurrection from the dead. And friends, salvation was costly for the Lord, but it is free to sinners. You know, we look many times at the idea that salvation is a free gift, and it is, and it's free because somebody else paid the price. But I want you to understand that after salvation, there is a price to pay to be everything that God desires for you to be, and there is a price to pay to be everything that God demands that you be. What strikes me as sad is this. There are many who are saved. They know that they're saved, but they also know that their Christian life really doesn't go any deeper than that. But yet at the same time, they're not willing to make any changes that need to be made. They seem to be content to be far, far less than they can be for the glory of God. Friends, every Christian has potential through Christ in him to be great for the Lord. But yet it seems that so many are satisfied with a nominal walk. It reminds me of the Israelites when Elijah challenges them on Mount Carmel in 1 Kings chapter 18, verses 19 through 39. And you can read about that whole contest there where the prophets of Baal, they cry and they cut themselves and all that, and Baal doesn't hear. And Elijah prays a simple prayer. Fire comes down from heaven, consumes the sacrifice, consumes the altar, consumes the water. And Elijah says this to the people of God. He says, "How long halt ye between two opinions?" Friends, let me say to you today the exact same thing that Elijah said to Israel in 1 Kings 18. And it's very simply this. It's time to get off the fence. It's time to be everything that you can be for Jesus. Yes, salvation costs you nothing, but being a disciple of Jesus Christ costs everything. And as we bring these thoughts to a close today, maybe there are some who are listening who very simply, you need to come to the Lord Jesus Christ for salvation. He's awakened in your heart a desire to be saved, and you've realized that the nominal Christians that you've been looking at, that are the very reasons that you've been using as to why you haven't got saved, do not cut it, and they're not living what Christians ought to be living, and you realize that you need Jesus Christ. Friends, don't delay. Come to him now, and he will save you. Maybe there's some Christians that have been listening to these devotionals, that God has used these devotionals to open your eyes and help you to see that you need to sell out finally, and you need to sell out fully to the Lord Jesus Christ. Let me encourage you. Come to him today, and you do what you need to do. Whatever the need, Jesus can and will meet it if it is brought to him by faith. So let me ask, will you take time today to come before him? That's what this message has been about, being a disciple of Jesus Christ. Friends, just coming to God by faith and being saved, and then coming to that place that we're paying the price to be all out for Jesus Christ. I believe that you want to do just that. But friends, the first step is coming to him. Will you do that today? Be obedient to him. Because when you're obedient to him and you become a true disciple of Jesus Christ, he'll bless your life in ways that you can only imagine. Have a great day.